Blossie, can I tell you a secret? I am worn out, as I always feel like I have to get everything right. I can never make mistakes, even small things. When I do make a mistake, or forget something, or someone seems slightly disappointed in me, I feel this rush of panic inside, like I've done something terribly wrong. I immediately want to fix it, to apologise, to try harder so nobody will be upset with me. I work very hard to be good and helpful and dependable. Other puppies might think I'm confident because I often do well at things, but that's only because I feel I have to do well. It feels like if I stop trying, or if I'm not perfect all the time, people will see something wrong with me and stop loving me. I'm totally worn out from trying to be perfect, but I don't know how to stop doing this.
I know what's going on here, Petal. What you're describing is very understandable when we look at how this belief begins. I know you had a tough puppyhood, so let me explain this to you. When you were a puppy, you grew up in an environment where love, approval, or safety, they were conditional, where praise only came when you performed well, when you behaved perfectly, or when you met high expectations. You learned something very powerful. You learned that love depends on performance. But here's the important bit, Petal. You couldn't understand that your carers were wrong when they expected way too much of you. So instead, you turned the blame inward and you decided that you must be the problem. Okay? The puppy in a childhood like this, the puppy learns to think that they are the problem and they can fix it only if they try harder, do better, and strive for perfection. This way of looking at things becomes a core belief, Petal, or a bad message. A puppy believes that it is their fault that they are not loved. And why is this? Because they are not perfect. So Petal, my dear, this is how the sixth bad message forms. And it is, you must be perfect or nobody will love you. So Petal, you felt that if you did excellent at everything, then you would be loved. So you pushed yourself all the time to try harder and harder and be perfect. But you see, Petal, nobody can ever achieve perfection. So you were always chasing an unobtainable goal. And you were under constant stress doing this. You could never relax. You could never just be you. You always had to excel, and yet it was still not enough. People were still not pleased with you. You were chasing perfection, so your carers would be happy and give you compliments. But what happened when you didn't do well? You were criticised and made to feel you were small and useless. And that hurt you so much and left you feeling that nobody loved you. But what did you do? You just kept going, non-stop, pushing yourself to be perfect and hoping that someday your carers would eventually love you. I want to tell you something really important now, Petal. When you learn this bad message, it is all done subconsciously. And by this, I mean that it's out of your control. Learning this damaged core belief about yourself is a subconscious process. You've no control over it, as we cannot control what happens in our subconscious minds. So when you end up thinking that you must be perfect or nobody will love you, you are not even aware that you're telling yourself this bad message. And another really important thing, this bad message was never the truth about you, Petal. It became a core belief for you because you had to survive in a home where love was dependent on you being perfect. You could never admit to yourself that your carers were expecting way too much from you, so you blamed yourself, telling yourself that you were useless if you didn't achieve perfection in everything you did. And you did all this subconsciously. You learned this bad message about yourself in order to survive a demanding puppyhood where love was dependent on you doing well in everything. But let me say it again, Petal, this bad message, you must be perfect or nobody will love you, is not the truth. You turned the blame inward, believing you were the problem. And over time, this belief followed you into your adult life and constantly controlled what you thought about yourself, even though it was never the truth. You believed you were responsible for fixing the situation, and you thought being perfect was the solution. But the problem was never you, Petal. It was your carers, demanding way too much of you and punishing you if you didn't match their expectations.
So, Blossie, all this trying, all this pressure I put on myself wasn't because I actually needed to be perfect. It was because I learned that I had to be perfect or my carers would not love me. Hearing how you explain this makes me feel so relieved because from now on, I don't have to keep proving myself all the time. I'm so worn out, Blossie. I'm tired trying to be perfect at everything. I want to do things that I enjoy. I don't want to feel I have to be perfect at it. It's just too tiring and worn out. You know, Blossie, thank you for helping me to understand this. Thank you, Blossie.
Well done, Petal. You understand what I am explaining. You see, you learned this bad message as you had to survive in an over-demanding environment. But it was never the truth. You don't have to be perfect for people to love you. Love is not about perfection. And a good job too, as none of us are perfect. Love is about being you and being accepted for who you are, just as you are. And as the oldest and wisest of the three wise tales, it is my job to help you understand this so you can be more gentle with yourself from now on. No more expecting perfection. It's time for you to just be yourself. No more reaching for more and more achievements. You can relax, Petal, and just enjoy your life just as you are. Believe me, Petal, people love you just as you are. They don't want and they don't need you to be perfect. And now you can see this. I'm going to hand you over to Dotty, as she is going to show you how to stop the sixth bad message controlling what you think about yourself. Okay, Dotty, time for you to take over. Get to work.
Hello, everyone, it's Dotty. Well, guess what I did today? Well, I was out on my walk and I rolled in fox poo. I was lovely and smelly. I thought I was lovely and smelly. But Annette didn't think so, so she stuck me in the bath and here I am trying to dry out with a towel around me. Anyhow, let's get back to this now. Let's name the sixth bad message clearly. It is, you must be perfect or nobody will love you. This is not a rule of life. It's an old survival pattern your brain built when you were small, trying to win love and acceptance by working harder and harder and achieving more and more. But this bad message is not the truth. It's just a survival pattern. And you learned it subconsciously a long, long time ago to make sense of the high expectations you had to live with when you were just a little puppy. Back then, this bad message helped you survive. You had to think you were the problem as you could never challenge your carers on how they expected too much from you. But now that you are all grown up, this bad message, it just keeps running and running, and it runs automatically or subconsciously, like a bit of old machinery clanking away. But you don't need this bad message anymore, Petal. You don't need to be carrying this bad message about yourself. It's not the truth. So I have a question for you. Do you want to be a top dog, with you controlling what you think about yourself? Or do you want to stay as a cog, stuck in the toxic old machinery of the sixth bad message? You want to be a top dog, don't you? Yes, you do. You want to control what you think about yourself. So, let me tell you about Annette's nip and flip method. This is what she does if any of the 6 bad messages come into her head. She nips and flips them. So what is nip and flip? What does this mean? Okay, nip is catching the moment thought appears. When you catch yourself thinking, I have to be perfect or nobody will love me, you immediately nip it. You nip it in the bud. You don't let that bad message in the door. You don't give it airtime. You don't entertain it. And when you have nipped this bad message, you then flip it. And what does that mean? Flip it means you turn it into a good message about yourself. So, instead of thinking, I must be perfect or nobody will love me, you flip it to, that's not true. I don't have to be perfect. People love me just as I am. I don't have to keep achieving more and more in the hope that people will love me. I am lovable just as I am. And that, Petal, is the truth. When you nip and flip the bad message, you stop it subconsciously controlling what you think about yourself. You take back control as you dictate what you think about yourself. You bring this bad message into your conscious mind, and in doing so, you get control over it as we control what is in our conscious minds. When you nip and flip a bad message, you stop it subconsciously controlling what you think about yourself, and you replace it with a conscious good message about yourself. And this good message is the truth. Now that you know how to nip and flip the 6th bad message to a good message, you will now tell yourself the following. I do not need to be perfect anymore. People love me just as I am. I do not have to keep achieving more and more. People love me just as I am. Each time you nip and flip this 6th bad message, you step out of the old pattern and into the new present. You get to control what you think about yourself. And over time, little by little, the old toxic machinery loses power. With nip and flip, you really can break free from being under the control of the 6th bad message. And you know, nip and flip really works because Annette's been doing it for years, and she rarely, if ever, gets a bad message coming into her head. She constantly practices telling herself good messages, and now she's able to feel happy in herself just as she is. She doesn't feel the need to keep achieving more and more. She's able to be okay just as she is. So, that's how you turn the bad message into a good message. You nip and flip. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, Petal. I want you to know that me, Blossie and Annette, we really care about you. And we really, really, woof, you.